Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle book review of Hercules, Adventures of the Man God Archive. This is a Dark Horse archive. This book came out in 2018 and the book contains 240 odd pages. You can see the details there on the back. Now $49.99. Now I noticed online it's about £34 now in the UK. I paid about £18 for it, which I was quite pleased with. I thought, what a great buy. Written by Gill and Dennis O'Neill, and also drawn by Sam J. Glanzman. I got his name wrong completely. However, wow, loves of Hercules character. I've been watching lots of DVDs, the old Italian ones and those sorts of things. Brilliant. And I thought, well, this one I will definitely pick up because this is Charlton Stories. Now, unfortunately, before I even go any further, the series didn't really end particularly well. Would have been nice if they had, but they didn't. It sort of petered out a bit, but still. Just going to quickly show you one of my Charlton comics. Now, I haven't got any of the Hercules ones, but I just want to show you, obviously, the size of the comic and the book. So you can see it's obviously slightly bigger than the standard Charlton one. But I love these ones. Picked up thousands of them when I was younger. They were just great. Okay, they were never the best of paper. It wasn't the best, but I still genuinely enjoyed many of the stories. And they had a whole variety of different ones. For some weird reason, I never saw a copy of Hercules. Well, that's always the way, isn't it? This was a 1960s published one by Charlton Comics. And let's just go through it. 13 issues. That's it. That's all it got, 13 issues. See there, the art. Now, let's just quickly, I didn't even look at this. Well, no, it's just basic black. Nothing there special. Just got Hercules there. Let's just put that back. Before I damage it completely, and go on to it's got a letter from the editor and the Adventures of Man God Hercules. I thought the art was fine. The quality of the restoration, absolutely brilliant. No sort of garish artwork. Basic looks. When you look at, of course, a Charlton comic, and let's just quickly put that comparison. You can see there, Charlton comic. The sort of style, I think it's slightly cleaned up a bit, but still absolutely fine. The story itself flows really well. Obviously, you know the story of Hercules. He wants to become a god, or a man god, obviously. And he has to have 12 labours, though. I think at some point it says 9 at one point. I think it was 9. Then it suddenly became 12. A few additional ones were added. But there's lots and lots of battles and lots of confusing storylines with, like, Alexander, I think, was in this. There was a load. Yes, Alexander there. And also other characters had turned up as well. I think the timeline was all over the place. But still, he just went from place to place, obviously meeting, should I try and continue with my aim of becoming a god? And of course, yes, he obviously went for, after each encounter with various things, of course there was always a love interest, whatever, and there's some more of the artwork there. Now, I just thought it was perfect, absolutely perfect. Back, have my trumpeter sound full retreat. Of course, when you're facing Hercules, though, there was lots of contrivances to actually weaken him at certain points in the storyline. So he wasn't always permanently strong. Sometimes he was super strong. He could do this and do that. And you think, hang on, why is he that strength? But that's always trouble in comics. Quite often I always wonder, like Hulk and things, you think, well, hang on, he can do that. But why can't he do this? But still, there he is tackling, obviously, the line there. You're fast for a big fellow. And, of course, the thing is, he miffs off Zeus's wife. Absolutely nothing, my dear, etc. She's constantly always moaning at poor old Zeus. And of course, trying to foil Hercules' attempts to become a god. Likewise, Ares as well. Ares, god of war, of course. And anyway, he's got different various things he has to do. Climb various mountains, battle against the ocean, and all those sort of things. And also various other characters. Sometimes these people are fairly familiar characters, obviously of classical mythology, but others, can you not see that this is no man? His great size, his fierce expression. This is a brute. There was all that sort of storyline. And then he's off ripping a tree up. Now that is pretty. What did that tree do to... But still, there is. And also, there she goes to try and get her, obviously, some weapons. Stand back. And of course, she just created this absolutely amazing amount of stuff, which of course Zeus quickly interferes with, makes her. Now, of course, he gets into trouble for doing all that. So sometimes she spots the fact that he's sort of doing something. So he has to be a bit more sort of careful. Goes around and asks someone else to do help. But there he is, battling away with some more characters, of course. The famous Hydra character there. And also looks like some other ones there. Obviously, lots of storms and various things. I just loved it. Just absolutely brilliant. Now, let's go to the, weirdly, and I'm just going to quickly go, the covers at the back, I never like that. Personally, I always prefer the covers to be in things. So you've got the story. Of course, other people probably like it to constantly flow from page to page, obviously story to story without that. But I always found it, sometimes I was not certain if the story was continuing from the previous issue onto the next one, because it just was a continuous thing. And there he is again. Now, the artwork I thought was superb, absolutely fine. He's obviously got a bit of a problem with a rope. Yes, he luckily saves the one there. And, of course, he's battling. He's always got always stuck there. I sometimes think that was a bit of a troublesome, actually, at times. It got in the way, I'm quite certain. But still, there's Ares there. And, obviously, I will not cry out to my father Zeus. I must find him. And he's always having that as well. Always got lots of problems as he goes from, obviously, first labour to labour. And she's still plotting away all the way through. And there's this other guy as well, who's apparently sort of like the person that's getting the information about what obviously Hercules must go and do at that point. But fine, really, really good. 240 pages of really good storyline. And I think if you can get it, obviously, for, as I did, for £18, I think it's pretty good. I think going up to 30 odd, 34. I don't know if the book is still readily available in print, etc. No idea at all. But I just found it absolutely brilliant. But it did sort of lose its way. Like there was bits and pieces where you could obviously see him sort of getting through labour. I think he got to about labour 8 or 9 or so. And then sort of like, what happened? There was no explanation, unfortunately. There wasn't giving any details about why it sort of stopped. What obviously maybe the sales weren't particularly good, but also something changed. Maybe they felt they were going too fast. Maybe that they should change the way that the story was done. And then he quite often had sort of scenes where he'd turn up having a meal with his family, obviously on Olympus, and it was good, but it just sort of seemed odd at times. And sometimes the art style changed a bit as well. You can see, even though of course it's the same artist. But I love that sort of near enough psychedelic sort of weird, which of course it would have been 1960s, that sort of period. And there he is, I too shall be immortal. He says, obviously, womp, womp, whap, womp. And at that moment, of course, a big rock hurtles down towards him. But there was lots of conflicts as well between, of course, Ares, etc. and Hera. There's a, die, mortal. He obviously doesn't like him, obviously. I don't know why, but still, he obviously got some. But let's on to the actual covers. There's the covers. So you got them at the back there. You can see number 1 there, number 3 there, I should say. Number 3, February, 12 cents it was as well. You can see, obviously, for some weird reason, they had to have 3 at the top of Hercules. Don't know why they had to do that, but I guess they had to have something there. Did they have that? Yes. No, they didn't. I was going to look at that one. So you can see that one slightly different. They didn't put all the faces of all the people. But here is number 6 of that one. And you can see there he's obviously facing some birds and some very dodgy looking arrows hurting towards great personal joy and pleasure versus great pain and hardship in the service to all mankind will be Hercules' choice. Ah, sort of. However, also the wrath of the goddess queen sworn to destroy Hercules. Their covers were quite unusual. Perhaps sometimes they didn't really sell the comic. I mean, that sort of seems a bit weird when you... Quite often the Marvel ones, they redrew these and made Hercules or whoever the main character, a bit more standing out. Here he's sort of like shrunk down. You've obviously got this wild boar looking a bit... but apparently no one in the rest of the area could handle it. They often always, Hercules, got a mad fool come along to try and stop us. And also the Bull of Minos. And then you got, obviously, Hercules under the spell of Hera, bereft of his great strength. There was, like I say, lots of control, bit of kryptonite sort of thing. He suddenly loses powers. But he still goes through, of course. That's inevitable. The Land of the Amazons as well. That was a good story. In fact, they were all good stories. I thoroughly enjoyed every single page of this. Loved it. And Land of Amazons, and you can see there Again, that one, which I've already showed. So that one. Oh, let's go to the first cover there. Here's number one. Now, Hercules seems to change a bit. It doesn't actually look the same as he does inside. Other than that mid-quibble. But you can see now, Hercules is massive. You know when you're getting that comic. That's what you're getting. You're getting Hercules. I know it says Hercules, but it's, But there, I suppose Hercules is fairly prominent. But like I say, later on, he was starting to shrink away there, and you got that sort of very messy cover. 9, test 9. Of course, it was issue 9. By issue 10, then we got the 9th head that could not die. Obviously, you got to that point, so that was test 10. And then we're on to this one, which I think is a very nice, psychedelic, weird cover. Love that cover, actually. Love red colour. And Hercules, the trophy hunter. Sort of went a bit changed at that point. And then the last one, it's very odd. They are Mars. What a weird cover. I mean, you can hardly see Hercules. I mean, they really were not really emphasising Hercules by this point. Maybe they felt, but it's just odd. Anyway, that was my sort of... And then 13, and this cover, well, I suppose Hercules is back on the cover fairly, but it's still, the horse is actually bigger than Hercules, I think. They're a bit of a confusion. And also I've noticed they didn't change that. Why did they do that? I wonder. They changed the logo, made it really quite small. The Adventures of the Man God Hercules. Now it's up to 15 cents as well. So that is the book, and I think it's just great. I really love it. Nice quality paper as well. It's a sort of matte paper, so it's real nice sort of quality paper. Not super glossy, near enough light reading. Very decent quality comics if you've really looked after them. This one wasn't looked after as well. It's a bit brown in places, but still, this is definitely really nice. And of course, as always with these things, they always finish off with a good old list of all the books, the Chronicles of Conan and the Conan Omnibus. I didn't buy any of them. I regret that, but I did buy the Marvel Epics that came out, the Chronicles ones, which were brilliant. Love those. I love Conan stories. Though I must admit, I've thoroughly enjoyed the Conan ones that are now on Titan Comics. I've picked up a few of those, sort of the magazine. The magazine's brilliant. Love it. Probably other people saying it's terrible, but I've enjoyed it anyway. And that's that. That's it. That's all we got. Conan. Don't know why they didn't include some of the other sort of collections they got. I would love to see a paperback edition of this. Not so. The same with things like, I'm certain it was Dark Horse, and that's the Herbie one. I would love to see that out in paperback. It doesn't have to be in hardback. If they brought out the paperbacks, because a lot of these are out print now, and maybe even this one is, I don't know. But it's just a pity that a lot of Dark Horse ones, they covered a lot, like Nemesis and Magic Man and some others as well. Various ones, Gold Key ones. And unfortunately, they're not available particularly easily. And I would love to see them out again. But I love this one. So this one, totally brilliant, lovely little collection. Dark Horse, see there, you can see the details again. And I say 1 to 13. And wow, pity it never got to 14, 15, 16. And actually finish it where we actually find out that he is a god or man god at the end. Though he wouldn't be a man god, would he? He'd be a god. But anyway, whatever it was. Have you picked this up? Are you interested in Hercules stories? I love the Kevin Sorbo series. Probably I loved Kevin Sorbo series. Also, I loved, of course, Xena as well. Xena was great. And I've the Conan one. Oh, loads of Conan ones as well. Just suddenly think of another Conan one. The DVDs of Conan, which I didn't realise existed. Weird TV series. I love all these sort of old ones. Sword and sandal stories, as they were called. I never liked that. But still. This one, have you picked it up? Will you be picking it up? And also, have you got any series that you think that would be brilliant to come out, that Dark Horse should bring out? Because I would love to know. Because there must be millions of Charlton series that sort of have vanished. I mean, this one is a classic case in point. I don't think this one's been collected. Doomsday. There is a Doomsday book. John Byrne brought it out. It's great, John Byrne. But I don't think they ever brought out a collection of these. Not, unfortunately, I think it only lasted 6 issues. Then they reprinted them, which is very odd. They just doubled them up. Very strange way of doing it. So that would be great to find out. Anyway,